In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a vibe-coded lead magnet and connect it to an n8n workflow so you can collect leads, deliver your asset, and impress your audience all automatically, whether you're building it for yourself, your clients, or even your own 9 to 5. I'm Lindsay Gonzalez, and I share AI and automation strategies every week so that you can make more money and save time. So if you're into that, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Today, you're going to walk away with step-by-step instructions and an example of how to build a beautiful, aligned lead magnet that delivers itself automatically. Let's dive in. If you're not familiar with Lovable, it's a platform where you can create apps and websites just by prompting. Using Lovable to build our lead magnet, and then we're going to connect it to a workflow in n8n that's going to allow us to funnel leads into a workflow that's going to automatically send the desired asset to that lead. So this is something that I built. You can actually go through it if you click the link down in the description on my previous video. I'll also drop it here below if you want to kind of see how it works. But basically, it's just a free audit. So business owners, entrepreneurs will go through and answer these questions. When they get to the end, they will enter their email address and then receive an email with their customized action plan to add and implement AI and automations in their business. And then on the back end, this is what it looks like in n8n. So we have a webhook that's listening for those results to come in. When the user clicks the submit button on the final page, it's going to create an entry in a Supabase database. Then it's going to go to this AI agent, which has very robust system instructions that's going to create that audit report for the user. And then it's going to send them that email. And then I just have it connected to GPT-4o for the chat model. That's how I have that one set up. But for the sake of brevity, because Supabase can be a little bit, I don't want to say difficult, but it's more involved. And so just for simplicity's sake, we're going to be using Airtable today. Can you use Supabase? Absolutely. But just to keep things really basic today, I'm going to use Airtable. And if you're interested in seeing videos on Supabase and how to get that set up and connect it to automations in n8n, please drop a comment and let me know, and I'm happy to do that. But the first step is we're going to come into n8n and create a workflow, and I'm just going to call this lead magnet demo. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a webhook, and we need to change the HTTP method to post, and I'm going to change the path to lead magnet. And then I'm going to actually grab the production URL and click here to copy it. Then I'm going to click save, and I'm going to turn this on. And this is just going to save us time for not having to use the test URL and then come back and have to change it to production. So we're just going to make it easy on ourselves and use the production one from the jump. So after we've gotten that going, what you're going to do is come over here to the Lovable prompt helper. So this is something built by prompt advisors. I'm actually in Mark's school community. He's a genius, and I'll drop the link to his community below if you are interested in joining. But basically, this helps you take like the plain English idea out of your head for whatever that you want to build, put it into the Lovable prompt helper, and then it's going to create a prompt that is palatable to Lovable. So it's going to like take a lot of the back and forth and the guesswork out for you. So I highly recommend using this. Okay, so this is the prompt that I came up with. And obviously this is just like a fake one so that you get an idea of the type of information that you should provide to the Lovable prompt helper in order to generate a prompt for Lovable that's going to get you the best results. So for this particular example, so I want to create a lead magnet for my marketing coaching business. The format will be multi-page quiz style, and the final page will ask the user to submit their email address to receive their result. I want the design to be sleek and modern and give a professional vibe. The questions should be as follows. And then it has all the questions listed out, and it has the type of response that's expected. So if it's single line text, if it's multi-select checkboxes, whatever the case is. But that's going to allow Lovable to know how we want this formatted. So it's not providing single line text when we actually want multi-line text or just like a simple checkbox type of setup. Okay, so I'm actually going to paste my webhook in here, and I'm going to add the below instructions. Okay, so I just added, when the user is done filling out the quiz, I want the submit button on the final page to send the JSON payload to this webhook. And then this is our production webhook over in n8n. So I'm going to copy these instructions, plug it into the GPT, and let it work its magic. Okay, so I'm going to just copy this prompt, come over here to Lovable, and then you'll notice that it says I can also help you draft the JSON schema of the payload. So I'm going to ask it to do that for me. And then I'm going to include that in my prompt. Okay. So I'm going to copy the JSON schema, and then I'm also going to copy the example and paste it over in my Lovable prompt. And actually, research shows that if you can really nail a good prompt when you're prompting Lovable and these other tools that help you to build web apps with AI, it's more effective than going back and forth with it a bunch. So it's really important to have a really strong prompt off the jump and not try to go back and forth with it, because the LLM is just stronger when you give it one solid set of directions and then don't have to ask it to go back and change things. So we have a really good strong prompt in here. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. Okay, so while that is cooking up, I'm going to go ahead and come over to Airtable, and I'm going to grab this example JSON right here and come over here to Airtable, and I'm just going to use my n8n test base. I'm going to come over and create a new table. I'll create with AI. Please create a table for the following structure. And then I'm going to paste that JSON example in there. Now I'm going to let it do its thing. Okay, so let's take a look at what kind of table it created here. So we don't need related inbound call. Airtable, you're trying to do too much. So I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to change name to email. I'm going to change it to email address. And I'm just going to leave it as single line text and then delete this email column. So didn't get it perfect, but it did save us a lot of time for having to do all that manually. So I'm good with that. Okay, let's check on how Lovable's doing. Looks like it is still spinning up the preview here. So let's come back to n8n. Okay, so we have our webhook set up, and basically what we're going to do is just build out a little database. So we're going to connect it to our Airtable. We're going to create a record. I already have my credentials set up, but I will show you how to do it in case you don't have yours set up already. So we'll come back over here to Airtable, click on your initial in the lower left-hand corner, go to Builder Hub, click on Personal Access Tokens under the Developers tab. We're going to create a new token. I'm going to call this Lead Magnet Demo, and I want to add data records read, data records write, and schema bases read. And then I'm going to add a base, which is just my n8n test base. And then I'm going to create the token. Okay, so then I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back over to n8n, and I'm going to create a new credential. Paste that access token in here, and I'm going to name this delete because I just need to remember to delete it later. Okay, so that was created successfully. I'm going to leave it connected to delete. It's going to create a record from n8n test, and the table is called health and wellness influencers. Okay, and then I will map these over as soon as we get our first payload coming through. Next, we're going to connect the AI agent. So click on the AI agent node and click define below. The prompt is going to contain all of the structured data from the prompt is just going to contain the JSON payload. So that's going to be like, how many followers do you have? How much are you making currently? Like all the questions that we ask in the quiz. And then I do want to add a system message. I'm just going to put hi in here for now so that it doesn't show me that red error message. And I'm actually going to come back over here to the Lovable prompt helper, and I'm going to tell it, okay, so I'm giving it these instructions. You're an n8n agent system instructions prompting expert. Create system instructions for my agent that will instruct it to evaluate the data being submitted by the user via the quiz lead magnet. I want the agent to analyze where the user is at currently versus what their goal is and provide a custom game plan for them to reach their goal. This should include specific marketing strategies like targeting ideal clients' pain points and desires in their content, as well as actionable tasks like ensure they are always using a strong hook and call to action in their content. The agent should output only the customized plan for the user in HTML format as it will be sent via email to the user. This should not include any extraneous commentary or formatting text outside of this. All right, and so we're going to let it come up with a prompt for us. Okay, and then we are going to take that back over to n8n and plug this in here. And then I'm going to connect this to my OpenAI chat model, which I'm going to use GPT-4o. And if you have credentials set up, dope. If you don't, click here and create a new credential. And then you're going to come over to platform.openai.com, and I'm just going to search for API keys. I'm going to name it demo, just select default project and create. Okay, so I'll copy that, come back over to n8n and paste that in. And I'm going to name this delete as well, so I remember to delete it. Okay, so that was set up successfully. Again, I'm going to connect this to GPT-4o. Okay, I'm going to click save just so I don't lose out on my progress. Right, let's check back in with Lovable. Okay, and let's run through our quiz here and see how it works. I'm going to say I'm a fitness coach. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I have 20 to 100,000 followers. I'm already monetizing, and I'm going to say 50,000 per month. Okay, and I'm going to just use a dummy email address for the purposes of this demo and then click Get Results. And then it has this little success message over here. So let's come back over to n8n and see if we see it in our executions. Cool, we do. So just doing that quick test run through, we're able to see that it hit our webhook. And now what we're going to do is copy it to the editor so that we have this pinned data in here. And now we can come in and map that to the rest of our workflow. Before we do that, if you are getting value out of this, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and let's move on to the mapping. Okay, so we are coming back into our Airtable node, and let's scroll down to where the user data is. So it's down here at the bottom. So we're just going to drag and drop this over, starting with email address. So we have our dummy email, we have our niche platforms. We want to bring over that whole array. We have our followers range, currently monetizing, and then we want our goal earnings here. And then we don't need this note. So actually, let's come back over. I'm just going to come back over to Airtable and delete that field just for simplicity's sake. Okay, now let's execute this step and see. Okay, so it's telling us that it expects a number, but it got a text, like basically a string in that field. So what we need to do is come back over to n8n, and we're going to change this from being a number or a currency to single line text. And my rationale for that is that when you have humans filling out quizzes and they have the ability to include like special characters like a $sign or words, sometimes they might include a short narrative. And so it's easier to plan for that human element rather than trying to control the human. And you tend to get more information that way as well. So if you're the owner of this quiz, you might want to get a little bit extra narrative. Like maybe they say, I want to make, $50,000 a month, and I will absolutely get there. Like it just might give you that bit of more information that will allow you to serve your audience better. Okay, so now that we changed that, let's come back over to n8n. We're going to hit this little refresh button. Okay, and now let's execute that step again and see if it goes through. Cool, yes, it did. My email address, the platforms that I'm on, my niche, followers, if I'm currently monetizing, and what my goal is. So that looks good. We know that connection works. Now we're going to come back over to n8n and get our agent ready to go. Okay, so I'm just going to take the data from the Airtable record and plug it in here. So we're going to need the niche, platforms, follower count, currently monetizing, goal earnings in 6 months. All right, and then I'm just going to drag and drop this step over. All right, and then we already have our system message in there. So let's execute this step and see what kind of output it creates. All right, so I can already tell by looking at this that this does not belong, but let's go ahead and connect a email node just so that we can send a test email and see what it actually looks like. So I'm going to go to Gmail, send a message. So we're going to drag this over, send it to lindsay@example.com. I'm going to change that off camera so that we can send a real email and we can see what it looks like. But let's make the subject, here's your custom content monetization plan. Email type is going to be HTML, and then the message will just be the AI's output. But like I said, there's like this we don't need, and it probably has that at the end as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do to fix that is come back over to my agent, and I'm going to add a little bit of instructions for it in terms of the formatting. Okay, so you must not output anything other than valid professional HTML. And I'm going to add, do not wrap the output in markdown code fences, and do not include the word HTML at the top. Output only the raw HTML content. All right, let's re-execute that and see if that fixes the issue. Okay, cool. So as we can see, that got rid of the code at the beginning that we didn't want. Okay, so I'm just going to replace this expression with my real email just so I can get a real email sent, and then we'll check and see what it looks like. All right, so we will execute that step and check it out. Okay, and here is the really quite impressive content plan that it created for me. So it breaks down how to strengthen my content strategy, test and optimize offers, amplify audience engagement, collaborate and expand, optimize monetization channels. And then I do want to change this so that it's not your dedicated marketing AI, but you can put your signature there. And then I also remember that I do want to turn off the append n8n attribution. Okay, so we will come back in here. I'm going to turn off the n8n attribution. I just don't like it. I think it makes it look less personal. So I turned that off, but I'm going to go ahead and click save. Okay, so that's pretty much how it works. I mean, it's really that easy. And in real time, this has taken me maybe like 35 minutes. And that's with starting and stopping and explaining it as I go. So you can see the power for your business, or if you're creating this for someone else's business, just how quick it is to create something that's really sleek, polished, professional, and that is functional. So the last thing that we're going to do is, now that we know this is looking good, working well, I'm going to click publish. And then this is your link. You can connect like a custom domain to it. I'm not going to do that right now just because it's a lead magnet. It's something like super basic. But what's dope about this is you can embed this. Like if you have a WordPress website or an HTML website, you can embed this on your website and drive traffic to your website with this lead magnet. And then you don't need this, this link right here, because that is just going to live in the web page. You can also use a link shortener. So what I recommend using is short.io, which is this site here. I feel like it's better than if you've ever used Bitly, but it will allow you to create branded short links for free. So now we've built it, we've tested it. And the last step, honestly, is to drive traffic to it, to promote it. So whether you're a business owner or a consultant, a freelancer, or you're just building this for your own 9-to-5 business, you're just building this for your own 9-to-5 job, you have to get traffic. Like you have to get eyeballs on your lead magnet. So you have to drive people to it. You have to make them aware of it. And you can do that through content creation, through traditional marketing like billboards, direct mailers, like whatever it is, QR codes on a postcard, email marketing. But the point is you have to drive awareness to it and then drive people to visit that link so that they can start receiving emails from you or receive your special offer or whatever it is that you want to build out with n8n. Because the truth is, it doesn't stop here after this first message. Like you can build up an email list and do email marketing, or if you're collecting phone numbers, do SMS marketing. But the point is, it's super simple to set yourself up to basically build a funnel for free if you already have n8n and Airtable, and not pay $97 a month for ClickFunnels or, whatever email autoresponder. Like it's absolutely doable given the right tools and n8n. All right, so you've just learned how to create your own lead magnet using Lovable and then connecting it to n8n so it delivers itself automatically. If you want to learn how to vibe code your own apps, click the link below and join the AI Foundations community. And if you're a business owner looking to build something like this, let's chat, link below. And for everyone, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe on your way out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.